Late summer is filled with beauty that I like to sit back and enjoy, particularly in the garden. And look at this cute little tree frog sitting on my dahlia plant. And summer is still full of sweetness and deliciousness like this Tillamook orange and cream ice cream. I'm just saying, it's the flavor of summer. If you haven't tried it, I'd grab it. But also with this time of year in Wilmington, North Carolina, we deal with a lot of hurricanes. And on this particular day, I was preparing for Hurricane Idalia. Now, by the time you're watching this, Hurricane Idalia already made landfall in Florida, has worked her way up the coast, and is out of here. But on this particular day, I was hoping for a little calm before the storm in my flower bed and to harvest these zinnias before they got ruined with the heavy rains. So you can see here, one thing that I'm doing is I'm running my hand down about 8 inches on the stem of the flower and giving it a shake. And if the flower is still floppy, it's a little too early to cut it. But on this day, I decided to cut the flowers even a little early because I'd rather just enjoy them in my home, even if the vase life is short, rather than just letting them get destroyed by the heavy rains. And you can see here, this is the beautiful harvest that came out of my flower bed before the storm. This is when things still felt a little calm. So I actually harvested most of the peppers. You can see there's a couple small ones on here. I feel like these, ooh, there's a bug on there. Let's see what that thing is. Oh, that bug's eating my pepper. What a jerk. Oh, he fell off. Sucker. Anyway, sorry about that. So I feel like these are kind of small to harvest. I'm a little torn about whether or not I should take them off because I think a pepper that size still has a little bit of growing room, but I don't know what to expect with the wind. So it's possible that I might have to take them. Oh, that sneaky a-hole. Look at him. Oh, he's gonna eat my pepper. Okay. So anyway, I don't know what to do about the pepper so much. Oh, here's a little snacking pepper. These guys, they actually don't get much bigger than this. So I'll pull this one. Cute little thing. My little girl Piper, she loves to eat these. While I was figuring out what to do with the green peppers, I realized that I was running out of time, and the calm day I wanted in the garden was quickly turning into a rush that started to escalate throughout the rest of the day. So at this point, things started to move pretty quickly. Okay, I'm also gonna harvest some of these Tabasco peppers. They are not all ready, but I'm gonna take the ones that have changed color. I probably, uh-oh guys, it's starting to rain. I'm gonna grab what I can here. I got a couple more. That one's on there. Okay, I gotta go. It's raining, so we will resume storm prep here in a little bit. It ended up raining like this the entire day and all through the next day. So that was it for my garden prep. I wasn't able to get anything else done outside that day. Oh, hey, I'm back from the rain. So it's about 6,000 degrees outside, by the way. The humidity is really bad. But we made it back in. It is raining out there. So I will go back out and finish harvesting my little Tabasco peppers. These weren't maybe quite ready, but I wanted to get what I could, but it started raining, so I came in, but we'll get more later. But we got this lovely basket full of zinnias and some herbs. Technically, some of these zinnias, I think were probably, it was a little too early to harvest them. But, you know, with the type of rain we're supposed to be getting, it's likely that that was going to ruin them anyway. So we'll make a pretty bouquet together and we'll have that to enjoy while we ride out the storm. So I'm gonna get this stuff cleaned up and ready to go, and then we'll make a bouquet and we will make a stencil coffee, because what else are we gonna do in a gloomy, rainy day? Whenever I'm making coffee art, I like to pick a mug that I love because it makes the coffee feel really beautiful, especially with the added coffee art stencil. And then I also like to pick a stencil that matches the mood I'm in, or it matches the mood that I want to cultivate. Here I'm making a quick cup of coffee, and I'm using Lavazza espresso beans, which I'll link in the description box below. I like them because they make a nice shot of espresso, but they're also budget friendly. So I'm doing a double shot of espresso here for my preferences. But what's most important is you make the coffee that you like to drink. So if the coffee doesn't taste good to you, then there's no point in even doing this. So make sure you just are making coffee that you want to drink. But what everyone will need to do, despite the type of coffee, is to use a froth, a foam, a whipped cream that is mostly bubble free to hold the cinnamon, nutmeg, cocoa, pumpkin spice, whatever it is you're using for the actual coffee art stencil itself. In this case, I am using organic whole milk. So once you have your coffee made and you have your froth made or your whipped cream, whatever it is you're using, You just pour your milk into your coffee, and then I like to spoon the froth, in this case, the whole milk froth, onto the top of the coffee. So you'll see here in a second that I just take a spoon and put it on top. And the reason I do that is because you want a nice clean canvas for your coffee art stenciling. Technically, you could just pour it in there, but this sort of ensures that you get that nice thick foam on top that can hold the weight of the cinnamon. And I like to take my finger around the rim of the mug because I want to make sure that the froth is not going above the rim of the mug, but I also want to make sure it's not too low. You really want it to be right at the rim of the mug, but not touching the stencil. That will ensure nice, clean coffee art. So here you can see the Moon Magnolia logo is on the thumb grip. If you can read that, that means your stencil is facing the right direction. And I like to center the thumb grip over the handle so I just know everything is in place. Take a cinnamon shaker, which is really important. A commercial cinnamon container will dump too much. And dust, don't dump cinnamon or whatever topping it is you want on top of your drink. So I just like to give a tap, tap, tap. Then you lift the coffee stencil off and boom, that is it. Simple, easy, beautiful coffee art like that. You can shop this stencil and tons of others at moonandmagnolia.com. Now, one thing I also want to show you is what not to do, because it's more important maybe to know what not to do than what to do. So one mistake I see a lot in coffee art is the froth is too low. So here I'm just having an example coffee with water I put froth on top of, and then I'm using the palm tree stencil in this case. And you'll see that once I put the cinnamon on there, it's a little blurry. And I will admit this maybe isn't the best example because the palm trees are pretty simple, but you can see it's a little blurry. When you're using coffee art stencils that have a more intricate design, which there are some that do, they just don't work great if you don't have enough froth. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you have too much froth, it's even worse. So here, I'm just putting a little more froth on top of that stencil just to make things easy. I don't want to dump it out and redo the whole thing. But you'll see as I'm filling up the froth, it's going past the rim of the mug. And it seems like maybe that would work, right? Because then like it's nice and close to the froth and the cinnamon will get right on top of there. But when you put the stencil on and it actually touches it, you can see it starts to like come through the stencil. And then when you put the cinnamon on, no matter how lightly you dust it, the entire thing just comes right off and you don't have any coffee art. So it's all over the stencil. So I had to stop what I was doing and come to Target to get my drive up order. There are a few things I was already out of, like day-to-day things. And then I also need to get a couple of things just in case we lose power. But the problem is the whole town, maybe the entire world, is at Target right now trying to get things for this storm. So I've been sitting in my car forever waiting for my stuff. Shout out to the Target people who were doing the drive up. They are out here in the rain getting everyone's orders out there. So thank you. I appreciate that. But things are not going as smoothly as I had planned on today, but that's okay. We're going to do the best we can because that's all we can ever do. And I'm going to chill in my car and wait for my Target order and then go home and get back at it. So this is just a side note, and actually this is from later in the day, closer to when the storm actually was arriving. But I wanted to show you how different my husband and I are in our priorities. I picked flowers before the storm. He makes beef jerky. Arguably, beef jerky is more useful in a power outage, but flowers are really pretty, so I don't know which one's better. The beef jerky was pretty delicious, but hey, flowers are beautiful. And when it comes to the priorities of this video, flowers are the clear winners. So a little time travel backwards into earlier in the day, and I'm finally back from Target. I had a lot of interruptions, and I'm just getting around to making my flower arrangements that are with the fresh cut flowers from the garden. I will say, I mentioned earlier in the video that I thought some of the zinnias were cut a little too soon because they were a little floppy when I shook them, and that was the case. They didn't really last too long. Zinnias don't do great if they're cut too early. The vase life is pretty short. So we got like a good day or two out of them, but they didn't last super long. Here, I also want to note that I don't usually like to clean up my flowers on my kitchen island, but because of the rain, I wasn't able to stay outside. I don't have a great covered area outside to do this, so I just brought them inside. Little dirt never killed anybody. Got to eat your 10 pounds, right? So I'm cleaning these up on the counter. When it comes to flower arranging, if you look things up on the internet, you're going to get a lot of people telling you a lot of different rules about how to arrange flowers. And I'm here to tell you, you can do whatever you want. There are some truths to flower arranging. Like, for example, some flowers last longer than others in a vase. Some flowers do better as cut flowers than others. So those are things that are just true and you can't get around. The rest of it, you can do whatever you want to do. So if it's beautiful to you, you should do it. And in this case, I took some of my flowers from my past arrangements, added them into this one, and I just stuck them wherever I wanted. And I love it. I think it's beautiful and rewarding to get flowers out of your garden and do whatever you want to do, no matter what the rules say. And so here is the final product of what I was hoping would be a calm day before the storm, but that was actually a pretty busy one. But still, there were these moments of beauty that really allow us to appreciate stillness and calmness, even amongst all the chaos. Beautiful coffee, beautiful flowers, and in this case, a book that I was hoping to read but didn't get to. But that is okay, because we can't have the calm without the storm. And here, a little bit of beauty, even on a busy day, can go a really long way. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, and you can check out all of the coffee art, stencils, and other offerings at moonandmagnolia.com. I will see you next time. Bye.